This is my third time doing this today. There was some crazy video going before. Welcome to DDP TV, Wrestling Wednesdays. And today, before I get started, I want to thank my buddy Robert, who's my webmaster, for putting together DiamondDallasPage.com. He did an awesome job. So if you get a chance, go check it out. Now, this is episode 6 in the trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever the word is, the saga, the reign of DDP. Last week I was with Kevin Nash. I let you know that I tore my rotator cuff and WCW fired me. Now at that time, you know, sometimes I always say everything happens for a reason, even when it's wrong. Sometimes especially when it's wrong. And in this scenario, Jake Roberts had given me a call after they let me go, and my shoulder was in like a sling held up here, and he said to me, "Man, how you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just, nursing the shoulder back, and can't wait to get ready to get back in the ring." And when we started talking, I realized that he wasn't, and his old lady had split up. So when we hung up, I went and talked to Kim, and I said, "Do you mind if Jake, was to take the room downstairs for like a week or two?" And she was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." She had no idea who Jake was. 1 week, 2 weeks turned into 3 months, and I really learned a lot from Jake. And I told her when I first got with him, "Man, I can't wait to get in the ring with you because I'm going to learn so much from you." And he said to me, he said, "Kid, you already know more. You know more moves than you need to." He said, "What you need to learn is when to do them, why you're doing them, and how to tell a story. Most importantly, you need to learn how to make the people care, whether you're a heel or a babyface. You got to make them hate you or love you." He goes, "That's the trick." I've often said that without Dusty Rhodes, there is no Diamond Dallas Page, and that's a fact. But without Jake Roberts, I never would have ascended to the level that I was fortunate enough to have been able to achieve. Jake taught me more, as he said, "You'll learn more from me sitting on that couch over there than you will from me in the ring." So we studied, we watched my matches. He taught me a lot. Jake was a character. Lost his snake in my house, his 12-foot black python. I'll never forget it. Anytime it was independent booking, he would book me, and he would critique my matches afterwards. And we had this big booking in the Philippines. I was like, "Jake, I got the booking." He's like, "Dude, big problem." I'm like, "What problem?" He was, "Lost the snake." Turns out Jake lost the snake in the bathroom. So he said he'll come back in the morning and fix it. I'm like, "What do you mean come back? Where are you going?" He's like, "I'll be back, I promise." Long story short, I had these little handles that, open the doors. So I put the pillows in front of the door so my cats wouldn't get in there. Next morning, Kim woke up. She realized those pillows were in front of the door. She went ape shit. Grabbed the cats, went to the Ritz, told Jake, "I'm not coming back until that snake's out of the house," and Jake. And Jake's paying for the hotel. She was pissed. Thank God the animal protector, because Jake didn't come back for 2 days. Gotta love him, man. He is who he is. And I got the snake handler to pull the cobra out, put him in a bag, and in another bag, in a box, and sealed that box up. So, bottom line is Jake was out of my house, but he sure as hell wasn't out of my life, because I learned so much from Jake. I would bring my matches to him and critique him all the time. I had finally gotten my way back into WCW. Eric Bischoff, who I formed a relationship. Remember what I always tell you about relationships? It's not who you know or who knows you. It's who's willing to say they know you, put their name on the line for you. And Bish gave me a job. Now, the bookers, they couldn't give a damn, because who's really going to believe in the 37-year-old pseudo-rookie, right? Well, I'll tell you who. Nobody. Nobody but me. You see, guys, you got to believe in you. You got to believe in those decisions that you make, no matter what they are, and you got to keep working towards them. But it's not going to be a straight line. You're going to hit those walls like I talk about, and God doesn't put those walls in front of you to keep you out. Puts them in front of you to make you see how much you really want it. So here's my first wall. The booking committee doesn't believe in me. Even though I'm coming in with a whole new look, I got these brand new tats. This is that new tat I told you I got redone. It's the same tattoo. and this tattoo. This one's got to be refreshed now too. But I also came in massive. I was way too big. Man, I was like bulking on as much as I could. Dyed my hair. Long story short, I came in ready, but they weren't ready for me. So I sat on the shelf. Now, wrestling's like playing the guitar. And if you don't play the guitar all the time, you never really get any good. If you don't wrestle, you never really get any good. I learned a very valuable lesson. Down at the power plant, I kept going back there. I learned that the more I actually taught people, the more I learned. The more I learned, the better I got. Applies to everything. They wouldn't write me anything, the bookers. They're like, anybody who's watching this pretty much knows what a booker is. So I wrote my own stuff. And I came up with this idea with this angle with Dave Sullivan. Now, Dave Sullivan was doing a gimmick, the Hulkamaniac at the time. He looked just like Hulk with the hair. They were both bald. They wore a bandana. He was big. He was muscular, 300 pounds. He wasn't muscular like Hulk. And he was a little crazy. And he's a little kiddish, but that was it. He was the #1 Hulkamaniac. And he got over, man. The kids loved him. 3 to 11, absolutely, he was number 3 in the world, in the wrestling world, ages 3 to 11. So I wanted to be the heel. Remember, Jake said, define yourself as a heel. There was no better guy to go against. So even though WCW's booking committee would not write me anything, I wrote my own. And I wrote an angle around Diamond Dallas Page being a world champion. Got myself a little trophy, put world champion on it, arm wrestling. Who's going to dispute me? I challenged everyone in WCW. Dylan put a really sweet little minute video together of the run with the arm wrestling thing, which would all lead up to Dave. And I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to elevate me. Because I knew that the booking committee didn't really care about Dave at that time, even though he was a really sweetheart guy. I mean, the guy you see out there doing that little slow stuff, he was way smarter than that, of course. But he had a heart of gold. He really did. So this is going to be a great angle for me. Oh, but here's what happened. The booking committee, I wouldn't say they convinced Hulk, but someone convinced Hulk that the Dave Sullivan Hulkamaniac character made Hulk look bad. Because people are thinking that's Hulk, and oh my God, is that what Hulk looks like now? Even though he wasn't bad, but it wasn't Hulk, So next thing you know, Kevin Sullivan and his brood just destroy him. Van Vader beat him after like 30 seconds. And then they annihilated him, cut his hair, ripped off his gimmick, stripped him down, totally humiliated him. The week before I was supposed to start my angle with him, I was sick pissed off. I was so effing pissed. So, didn't really know much about breathing back then, but any kind of adversity that you get hit with, well, you got to overcome it. And so I said, okay, so what would work here? And somehow the name Evad, which was Dave spelled backwards, and he was going to be like a kid, because he was like a kid anyway, so you could sort of keep the gimmick going. And so you'll see Dylan put together these videos that's, a montage of arm wrestling and stuff, and me being obnoxious shit. And then you're also going to see a video under that of an interview that we would put on Saturday morning, because no one cared about us. But they put us on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, 9 o'clock on TBS. And that's where we shot this angle. And I'll tell you what, you tell me if the angle, the interview, and the personalities, if anybody's doing, I'm sure people are doing better than it, but this would have been like an upper mid-card level angle probably right now. And I think when you watch how this goes and what we did with the videos and what they allowed me to do on Saturday morning, if you're giving chickens shit, you want to make it chicken salad. Well, I was given a shit time, a shit show, and I made the best of it. And eventually we shot the angle. We did it. What you're going to see here is the beginning of it. It'll take a couple of weeks to get through it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoy looking back at this. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it is entertaining. I also want to remind you that every Thursday, I got YRG Radio. Go to DiamondDallasPage.com. It's right there. Every Thursday, East Coast, 9 p.m. Next week, August 5th, my special guest will be RVD. That's right, Rob Van Dam. My buddy Rob Van Dam and we're going to be talking about living your dreams. See ya, monkeys.